welcome to this amazing community, a community of millionaires, farmers. So today we will be looking at question and answer session of what we did last Saturday in our first webinar. But first, I will want us to have an interactive session. So if you are in a place where it's not noisy, you can unmute your mic so that we can go along, because this session, this case study is going to be very interactive. It's not just going to be me alone. Yes, so I want it to be a very interactive session for each and every one of us so that we get to really understand some things, some key things, especially if you have gone through the ebook, the guide that we shared in the group. Yes, so I want to assure us that this thing is not just going to end here. We will keep improving every day so that we keep sharing knowledge so that each and every one of us can grow. Yeah. We often keep hearing that the next millionaires and billionaires and multi-millionaire in Africa will not come from technology, nor would they come from any other sector, but they will come from the agri sector. And it's true. It's true. We are seeing how things are changing. If you are very optimistic, if you are data sensitive, you will realize that there is a lot of things happening in our marketplaces right now. If you go to our local food market, you want to gather data, the information from those women who are selling and the people who are selling the market, you will see that there is really a shift which is actually happening. So truly the next
Have you
millionaires
ever walked into a room and
will
forgotten
really
why
come
you went
from
there? Or do you ever
the
experience
agri will really come from the agri sector. So we want to make sure that we position ourselves so that we can get rid of these opportunities. So today we are doing a case study. I'm so excited about this case study because it's going to really give us a practical understanding of the foundation that we laid on our first webinar. So it's a challenge. Yeah, let's take it upon yourself that imagine someone say you have 10 million francs right now. What will you do with that money? Mm, we are putting the case of agriculture here. Yeah, don't say I will go and buy some other stuff, or I will go and do, I will do consumable goods where I will open a boutique or a shop where I will sell things. Maybe I sell clothes or other things. But let's be agriculture focused here, since our goal is agribusiness. So imagine that you have this responsibility, or you have this question posed onto you that Mr. Kenneth, Mr. Daniel, Madam Beatrice, uh, you have 10 million francs. What will you do with it? Oh, just imagine. It could still be 50,000 francs. It could still be 100,000 francs, and it could still be 1 million francs. But whatever the case, the principles still go down to all the various tiers. So whether it's no matter the amount, the principle is the same. So imagine such a question. Hmm? Mr. Daniel, please, can you unmute your mic and let's have a conversation since you were in the last session before I take over the case study. I want this session to be interactive. Seriously, I want this session to be interactive. Maybe any person who is bold, you can come on board, unmute your mic, then we talk so that from there now we can move into it. This is not a formal class session, so everyone here is the same. Yeah. Mr. Kenneth, please, you hold on a little bit. I can see Mr. Daniel has already unmute his mic, so let's hear from him since he was in the last session. Mr. Daniel, are we together?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
All right. Uh, Given I was given the sum of 10 million to invest in agriculture, or rather going for um storage, or rather invest the money for storage facility. Having in mind that most our agricultural products now are we are going through problems of post-harvest loss. So targeting markets areas like Bamenda, Douala, Limbe, where they have good markets and where the food, perishable food such as tomatoes and all the rest. So I'll invest in storage facilities like a refrigerated stored house kind of something where I can solve that problem, and with that it might generate me a lot of profit in return.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a wonderful idea there. Post-harvest losses, core storage facilities, to be precise. That's something remarkable. Yeah, Mr. Kenneth, can we hear from you?
Good evening, sir. Good evening to every other person. Right. For my own idea, I think like in this area where I am in Boya, that amount like that, I think I can invest part of it in land banking, and then I can the other part I can also invest in foodstuffs, like I can do like a vegetable farm. I can also invest in things like tomatoes. I can do a plantation, because first thing when it comes to agriculture, from my own idea, is first to have a land. So if I can use part of that amount to have a land of my own, which means I can guarantee the possibility of doing my agriculture anytime I want without anybody's permission.
Yes.
So I'll need to get a land, and then from there I can then invest in any other thing, because that is the primary aspect. And also, why will I think of land to be the first? Because in as much as I'm investing or doing my agriculture, the land, the value or the financial value of that land will be increasing, because like basically here in Boya, land appreciates, it doesn't depreciate no matter however, whatever. So as my land will be appreciating in value, I'll also be gaining from the agricultural products, which I'll be obtaining from the farm, and then I'll have my freedom to work anytime I want. Even if I am tired, I can decide to say I will allow the land to maybe regain its fertility for some time. I will not be under somebody's pressure or somebody's instruction.
Wow, Mr. Kenneth, that's amazing. That's amazing. Amazing response from you. Amazing response from Mr. Daniel. Madam Beatrice, please, are you with us? Do you have something to share with us? Madam Beatrice. Okay, yeah. That's really amazing. That's really amazing. Amazing idea from Kenneth. Amazing idea from Daniel. And hey, I would say all your ideas are superb, super good. But now the question is, uh, this was just a question posed to you impromptu. You were not prepared for it, right? So I believe that if you have to follow normal business procedures, normal things to make sure that your business really work like that of Daniel, which is an amazing business, cold storage, post-harvest losses. That's really, yeah. Kenneth talking about land banking and being self-employed, knowing that he's so self-sufficient, he has authority over his land and whatever thing he's going to do. I mean, that was amazing response from each and every one of us. But now, I do want us to check out this thing. So today I want to test how we think, because business is all about thinking. And I really appreciate each and every one of us because we were able to think. Yeah, we were able to think. And I'm so amazed. I'm so amazed. But now, if we review what we did last time, we talk about you have to have the right mindset. When it comes to business, you have to have the right agri-business mindset or the right business mindset. Then you have to understand that investing in agriculture, you don't just jump into investing, whether it is business or agriculture. You don't just jump into investing. There's a particular framework or a particular process that you can follow so that you can be very sure of the decision that you are making. You have to understand that it's going to be risks. You have to understand that it's going to be capital intensive, and you're going to also learn how you're going to allocate your capital. You're going to also know that it also depends on your market. Like, for example, Daniel spoke about cold storage facilities. Superb business, superb. And the thing is there a market for it? We will buy. So I believe if we are going to move into pure market research, it might become a very powerful business in which that 10 million francs can move into a big time company. And all of this boils down back to our objective. Why are you choosing the kind of business that you are choosing? Like, for example, Kenneth was already telling us that he's choosing land banking because even if he's old, that land will still appreciate in value. And even if he's going to be planting vegetable crops, or if he is going to be planting maybe fruit crops that will last for a very long time, he knows this is my land. Nobody will disturb me from my land. And even if I'm old, these crops or these fruits can still pay me. I mean, that was an amazing response from him there. And that boils down to what? Objective. So as we get into real matters, when it comes to investing, whether it is agriculture or it is just a normal business, we have to have the right mindset. And I believe each and every one of us here have the right mindset. So we have to have objective. Why are we choosing the business that we're choosing? Like, for example, why are we choosing the type of business that we're choosing to invest that 10 million into, or to invest even that 50,000 francs into? Why are we choosing it? The why is very important. The why is very important. Remember, if your why is not important, it's going to depreciate or lose value or momentum along the way. But when we have a strong why, a strong objective, it drives a lot of momentum, inner momentum within us. It burns within us. We know that if I am investing this amount of money into this thing, nobody can convince me out of this thing because I have a particular thing that I want to achieve in this thing. Like, for example, Kenneth, the Daniel, which is who talked about cold storage. He has something that is so pertinent about it. It means that he has been researching about it. He has been thinking about it. He is so worried about wasting food. Each time he visits our food markets, he still finds food being wasted. So he could solve that problem by using what? Cold storage facilities. And now he goes into following other processes that, okay, I have an objective to invest into this type of business, this type of agribusiness. And now, what are the next things that you have to follow? It's a good objective. Is there a market for it? Okay, fine. He talks about buying things, maybe transporting them from Bamenda to Douala and other urban cities. And I think he spoke about that, because if you realize vegetables, you will see that most of our vegetables really come from northwest and the west, though we still have some coming from the southwest, but most of our vegetables come from the northwest and south and the west, apart from southwest. So you see that he was already talking about something. He was already looking at site. So if you have reviewed what we did last in our last webinar, you understand that after which you have your objective, why you want to invest this amount of money or why you want to invest into agriculture. Now you ask yourself, where do I have to buy that land? Like for Kenneth, where do I have to buy that land? Like for Daniel, which urban city am I going to locate my business? Which particular place am I going to select so that it can suit my business? I think this is something pertinent for us, for each and every one of us. So imagine you have 10 million francs to invest. Maybe someone wants to invest into primary production. Like Kenneth, you have to think about buying land, right? And so if you have to buy land, if you have to purchase land, there are some things you have to consider. The place that I'm choosing for my land, is it the right place to achieve the result that I want to achieve? Maybe you want to buy that land to also grow tomatoes, like you did mention. Is that land good for tomatoes? So you're already making sure that the land that you're going to look out for, is that land good for tomatoes? If it is not good for tomatoes, it means that the land that renters will propose to you, you're putting into consideration the nature of the soil, the richness of the soil, the characteristics of the soil. Does it permit what I want to grow here? Forgetting the aspect of the fact that the land will appreciate. Are you just going to buy in a swampy area where you cannot farm all year round and only farm only in the dry season? So these are some of the things we have to always consider. So this brings us to investing objectives. Your objectives have to be very clear. This is what we have already talked about. Now you have to also understand that there are timeline, there are time zones, there are horizons that we have to follow when you are investing. Business people know about this. That's why you see some business people will invest long term. They already know that this thing, I'm going to invest this amount of money long term. I don't bother about it. Some people say, okay, my objective is just for me to see how I can get quick cash. Nah. Eh? Your choice of business also determines the kind of the time frame you want to run that business. Because agribusiness is such a way that you can even do it just within 1 week and you quit. There are some businesses that you can do in an entire year, in an entire season, in decades, in centuries, that will move into generations. We have such businesses in agriculture. So an amazing sector, very diverse, very dynamic. But now, if you do not understand the time horizons, it will be very difficult. And you will have the kind of saying that, Master, if I for know, I for invest the money inside something, if I for know the agriculture people, they talk say they over make money inside the thing. So, Master, you should say not true. That thing a lie. Oh. I don't plant tomato this year, so that tomato no just come ye. I don't just lost all money. That is what happens to those who just jump into agriculture. This is what happens to those who just hear somebody making millions in agriculture and they just jump into it, boom, because they want to cash out big from it. No, you have to sit down and ask yourself, do a self-audit based on my situation. Do I want to focus on something that can give me money short term? Do I want to focus on something that can give me money medium term? And do I have to focus on something that will give me money in the long term? So the way that you will use that 10 million depends on some of these things. It really depends on some of these things. Very important. Very important. Please, if you are getting value, just write in the comment section, just write in the chat box, value. If you're getting value, just text in the comments, in the chat box, value. Yeah, come on, let's do that. Let's do that. If you're getting value, let's type value. Okay, good. At least I'm not alone. I'm not alone. So this is this is so amazing. If we follow these things, we will succeed. we will succeed. And even if you have been doing a lot of things in agriculture and you don't have a particular framework or a blueprint that you have been following, believe me, follow this one. This one is basic, simple, straight to the point. What we gave out in that free guide, it's so amazing. So remember, I was talking about horizons. I was just talking about timeline. Like, for example, what you are choosing. Are you aware that if you want to make money within 2 days, that kind of business cannot give you that money? Are you aware that if you want to make money in 3 months' time, that kind of thing that you are choosing cannot give you money? If you want to make money in 10 years' time, you know that that kind of thing that you are choosing cannot give you that money within 10 years' time. Especially if you want to have that kind of freedom that Kenny was talking about. I do my land backing. When I'm old, the things I have planted can sustain me. I think that these are some of the things, some of the questions that we must ask ourselves so that we don't make the wrong decisions, because everything will boil down to the wrong decision. If you make the wrong decision, if you make the wrong choice, that money, that 10 million francs will be invested, but you have nothing out of it because your actions were not in line with your objectives. That is it. If your actions are in line with your objectives, your decision making will be very good. You will make the right decisions. And if you make the right decisions, you will take the right action. So understand that the kind of money that you want to make in agriculture will determine the kind of thing that you will choose to invest in. We are talking about crop here, but remember, agriculture is vast. Kenneth, Daniel already spoke about storage facility, cold storage facility. That's just one aspect of it. We have not even put into aggregation, what we commonly call buy and sell them. It's still good business. It's still good part of it that you can still put that 10 million francs into, as long as you follow through the right frameworks. So what I want us to understand here is that your why is very important. Why you want to invest in agriculture is very important. Why you are choosing the kind of crop or the kind of business that you want to invest in agriculture is very important. Take note of this, because these are the things that will give you strategy. These are the things that will help you to be able to know how to manage risks when risks will arise. These are some of the things that will make you so that you don't have sleepless nights because you make the wrong choice. You cannot be thinking of making money within 3 months and you are planting eucalyptus trees. That one is impossible, right? You want to kill yourself. But if you want to make money from in 10 years' time, you are planting eucalyptus trees, my brother, you are in the right track. You see, those are some of the things that many people fail. Yes, many people fail to understand. So I want us to make sure next time, or for us to review our approach on how we look at investing in agriculture or even in any business. I think this knowledge that we're sharing, it cuts across business as a whole. So let's take note that our why is very important. So, like for example, maybe when Daniel was sharing his idea, if Kenneth was inferior or was feeling like a type, he would say, "Ah, Masa, see that kind of business where that man they talk about, so that man always do that business he call so." For start to say you want to do cold storage, you want package tomato, you want put the inside some cold something so that me no spoil. Me you send them for Bamenda, or me you make me you take them for Bamenda, send them for Douala or do and so. If he copes over the kind of business, and when Kenneth was talking about land banking and planting maybe some fruit crops, vegetables, and permanent crops on that land, maybe Daniel would have been, Masa, the kind of money things so if you work, the things on a long term something, we need money when a sharp meeting the worker. Me you know the talk say you be potential millionaire, but we need to see the money. So this brings us to what I always term that there is no best crop. There is no best crop. There is no best business. All it boils down to is that have a clear objective. When you have a clear objective, you can now decide on your business that this is my best business. because my business or my choice of crop is different from Daniel's own. It's different from Kenneth's own. It's different from Beatrice's own. So these are some of the realities that we must accept. Yes. Maybe Daniel just shared what he shared, and Kenneth is trying to copy the idea just because he sounded so good. Or maybe in the engineer Thomas looked at the idea and it was good, and he wants to implement the idea without having a clear objective. If you do not have a clear objective, things won't work well. So this case study here that we're following for that 10 million is to make you to understand that if you have money to invest, even if you don't have money, these are some of the things that you can follow. Like, choose the investment that fits you. Like, maybe you are an investor, or maybe you are self-invest. You want to you want to self-invest on yourself, be self-employed. If you want, please follow with me. You see, this my table has investor, it has vegetables, it has pigs, it has tree or cash crop. So this is just to group some of the various investing patterns that we obviously faced in agriculture. So I want to say, follow with me. You have vegetables, pigs, tree. On the investor column, you will see 8-month income. You will see 10 to 20 year wealth. Then you also see a 3-year capital engine. For example, maybe Daniel want he just want a business, or his objective is just that I want something that I can do so that I can raise money in the next 3 years, and I quit the thing. The way he will approach it is different from how Beatrice will approach it. Maybe Beatrice's interest is that I want to build something from beginning that it can last for 10 years and give me money continuously. The way Beatrice will approach her own business is different from the way Kenny will also approach his own business. So we must understand these things in agriculture. These are the things that is not book. They want to be book. They want to be one way we don't learn them for school. Now, one way I don't just develop and way I don't see the reality way with the face and fulfill. So we get for understanding and say, the thing where you choose them, what you are choosing for short term, it should be well selected, and you should be intentional about what you are choosing. Don't just hear because somebody is doing carrot or somebody is doing any short term cash crop, you want to just move into it. No. So these are some of the things that we must understand. So our main objective here is that the investment objective is the compass. So the reason why you are investing is the compass. We are emphasizing on this because this is the foundation of your success in agriculture and in any business. So if we must be doing any other thing, that 10 million francs that you want to invest in, your objective, what you want to achieve at the end, is your compass. It be like say na the steering. We mean say it give for guide me. No, drive go for different side. Maybe when you go for love, you check say, hey, this one doesn't tie to my objective. I have to stop this one. If you think about this one, you say this one is going to my objective. I have to stick to it. So your investing objective is your compass. We have to guide it very, very well. So we have to guide it very well. So now come the point. After you have chosen the kind of things I want to invest in, like Daniel spoke about cold storage facilities. Have you understood the risks? Are you aware of the risks in it? Are you aware of the operations in it? Are you aware of the market? Do you have, are you sure of the market demand? What is your marketing strategy? What is the strategy that you will use so that that service can be rewarded with cash? That your capital. Do you know that 10 million francs is small? Or it's really small? Maybe for what you want to do? You can only know if it is small if you do the right thing, if you can evaluate your risks, if you can put into play the things, the resources that you need. So you have to understand that risks is very important, and you must test your risks. How do you test your risks? Just by knowing the history of the things I want to invest in. Like, for example, if you have to invest into plantains, it's very easy for you to know if you are risk tolerance. If you plantain will require you, maybe if you are starting in from a virgin land, you have to get the forest, cut down the forest, do land preparation, hire people to engineers to do the packing, you do the planting, you do follow up, you do maintenance on the farm, you do harvesting, and imagine you do all of that, and at the end of the day, there's no road to transport those plantain to the marketplace. That's big time risks. That's big time risks. You won't make any money, and that risk came in because you did not test it. So we in agriculture, if we must succeed in agribusiness, we should be able to test our risks. We should be able to understand that it will entail risks. So we don't have to run away from risks. We don't have to scale away from the aspect that there is risks involved in it. Because in any business, there is risks. I'm telling you this. In any business, there is risks, big time risks. So, like for example, if you want to enter into production, like Kenny was talking, maybe you get the land is there. You don't have the right knowledge in vegetable farming. You don't have the right knowledge into maybe the right land that you have to choose. Maybe you buy just one funny land. The land is not fertile. The land is the landscape is very funny, not good landscape. You understand that your production, you will face a lot of challenges in your production. And these are some of the things that scare us away. And we'll start talking about this agriculture is just stress, hard work. True, there is hard work in it, but it pays off. I'm talking from the place where I've actually experienced the both. Yeah, if I was we're not making profit from agriculture or making money from agriculture, I won't be hosting this webinar. I won't be creating a community where I want to share knowledge or share the things that work. No, what the hell? But I am talking from the place of data. I'm talking from the place of what I know works. So, hey, risks. You have to be very assured that risks is involved into it. Now comes the question. The market test. I remember, if there's no market for it, no matter the quantity of things that you will produce, you won't sell it. I remember one time in Bamenda, we had a contract on cauliflower. We did cauliflower 2 weeks to the time of harvesting. The drying house got burned. That cauliflower got rotten on the farm. Cauliflower is not like tomato that everybody knows about it. It's something that we call it an exotic vegetable. Many people are not even aware of it. But just the fact that the market demand wasn't sure, just because of a breach in contract, something just happened, one challenge, we lost almost everything, that we could not achieve anything in it. Zero revenue, zero, I mean completely zero. So you want to see that market test is very important. Like for example, if you choose tomatoes, now prove that a business exists before you plant. The truth is that a business that you are not aware of how you are going to make money, that business will fail. That business is just like autopilot. You are like, if this business, you are just like, it's like it's like a bet. It's like Jumbo. But you have to understand that if I have to do tomatoes, at what price? Am I aware of the various seasons in tomato farming? Do I know that tomato prices always fluctuate? So because of this awareness, I have to know when I have to go into the tomato farming. Timing comes in. I have to know how much do I need to produce the volume that I want to produce. How much do I need to produce? What quality am I targeting? Are you targeting quality that when you bring it to the marketplace, the tomato is just market itself? Because if you go to the market, there are tomatoes and there are tomatoes. I hope you can understand. And who is going to buy? Like, for example, us in Bamida, there was a time that the prices of tomato were so down that they were selling a basket for 1,500 francs. But guess what? For that 1,500 francs, we were still making 500 francs from a basket of tomato. But there were still farmers that could not sell tomato. But they had tomato, but they could not sell. Why? Because they didn't have any buyer. But for us, we had a buyer who was ready. We just call, how many basket? They say 250 today. You say, okay. Namia they send moto or when I go 100 and we say no, pa send moto. So you see that know who you want to sell your tomatoes to is very important. Or know the kind of person that will assist you along the way, how you will finally make that money. Like Daniel was talking about cold storage, very good business. And what price? How are you going to be doing it? When is the timing? You have to understand that vegetables they fluctuate. We have seasons of surplus and we have seasons of scarcity. Have you done a market research on that timing? Then how much volume? Have you done maybe any arithmetic to understand the kind of quantity that is being generated in a day and the kind of capacity that you want to store? Can you achieve that based on the amount that you want to start with? So I believe this is a case study to remind us that if we didn't understand the fee guide that I gave, this one is to make us to be able to understand it so that we can make the right decisions and do the right investments. So it's very important. So you have to understand that each time you have money to invest, whether it is business or agriculture, that business, you must give that money a job. That money has a job to do for you. It's not money for you to just take and you start eating, or you call people, you eat the money with them, and at the end of the day, you say, master, that tomato no be working here. I say, so instead, you buy me that tomato, sute, because the money that you were supposed to allocate for insecticide, you took that money and you ate the money. So you see, this is where discipline comes in. This is where the mindset comes in. So you must have the right mindset to wait. You must have the right mindset to have faith. You must have the right mindset to take action and execute. So give your money a job. Your money must have a job. Allocate resources. Resources are always limited. This 10 million that we are talking here, Daniel is looking at 10 million is very small for him to launch that kind of cold store that he wants to launch. He has already shedded the money is small. But if he understands that this thing I'm dealing with, cash, is a limited resource, I can only allocate it very well in the right way. I can launch this business and I grow this business. Very important. So we must learn how to allocate our resources. It's a winning strategy. Budgeting is very important. Sometimes, even if you don't have the money, just budget. Write a budget. Write a budget. Like, for example, Kenneth, you spoke about land banking. Sometimes you have to be very realistic. Go out there, do some market research, try to follow up. How much is land being? How much is the price of land in Buea? Proximity to town, the distances. These are some of the things that we must do. If you are not aware of these things, it's very difficult for you to allocate resources. So that you know that if I hit this thing, these are some of the things that I'm thinking. Realistically, you cannot sit down and imagine agriculture and succeed. No. You must take the action. You must take the first step. You cannot just sit down and imagine, oh, Masai, boy, would you give me some cold 10 M so boy, me man do something there. No. You have to budget it. Even if you don't have it now, you can still budget it. It's very important. That's the power of thinking. That's the power of positive thinking. Yes, this thing is not motivational, but what I'm talking here is business. This is what most business people do. They budget everything, if you must succeed. Know that there's useful capital, maybe land site preparation. If you are doing primary production, you have to purchase land. Maybe you already have the land. You have to make sure that you do your site preparation. You have to know that this thing will require input. Where am I going to get my input? Don't go and choose a farm somewhere that it will be difficult for you to get input. There are people that they will go and farm somewhere and it's difficult for them to take input to that place, or where input prices are very high. So these are some of the things you have to consider. Don't go and choose a farm to farm where it will be very difficult for you to get labor. Don't go and choose a place because the land is cheap and there's no water. You say, master, if I know, I never buy land for you, my tomato don't dry. Oh, this. No. We must make sure we follow the reality. We must make sure we follow the right things. We must make sure we do what it matters. So this is the case study that I wanted us to work on so that each and every one of us can understand what it takes. Before you invest, can you defend your decision? Kenneth already gave his decision, the reason why he was looking into land banking. Daniel already gave his own decision, why he was looking into cold storage. Now comes the question, is that decision enough? Can you defend that decision enough? Are you just going to defend it emotionally? Are you just going to defend it with grammar? Or you are going to use data? Like, for example, I have worked this thing. Or I have gone to the market. I have actually gotten information on this thing. This is it. This is it. I am taking the decision that this is what I'm going to work, no matter what people are talking about. Like, for example, now people are going to ginger everywhere in ginger. People are just hearing ginger. And majority of people are planting the wrong ginger. So these are some of the things that we must understand. Your decision, can you defend your decision? If you can defend it based on your objective, based on the timeline, based on the risks, based on the market, and based on the capital that you have, man, you are good to go. You already have a thriving business. All you have to do is take action. All you have to do is take action. Let's know that these things matter in agriculture. These things matter. So if you have to make millions in agriculture, if you want to build something big in agriculture, don't be scared of your dream. Don't be scared of your vision. Don't be scared of what you want to achieve. Let it not frighten you. Though we often hear that if your dream doesn't frighten you, then it's not big enough. But I'm reminding you today that if you have a dream, there's a blueprint, there is a step, there is a particular way that you can follow it up. You will see that that dream will become a reality. Like, for example, Daniel, cold storage is very good. Very good. Yeah, I am an I did agricultural and environmental engineering. We spoke about agricultural storage facilities. Cold storage, what you're talking about, it's very good. It's very good. But now let's face the fact, Daniel. Do you have the money to do such a business? Do you have real data that you can present to an investor and that person say, wow, this is good. Can we start it? Do you have a minimum viable product? Have you tested it? Daniel, if all of this is no, but they see a strategy. Going back to our investment timelines, understanding the horizons, maybe you may ask yourself, Daniel, maybe you are someone that you have a background in agriculture, or you understand some certain things when it comes to farming. You could decide that I'm going to start working pepper. This is how I'm going to raise my capital to launch this my cold storage business. So you see that in agriculture, there is that timeline that you can follow in such a way that you start with short-term crop, you go to medium-term crop, and eventually you see yourself launching mega things, moving into cash crops because you don't have the cash. Cash crops is not easy. The cash crop demands a lot. They are capital intensive, and they take time before they can start giving out revenue or even a profit. So you have to understand that the main reason why I am teaching these things is for us to understand that once we have clarity When we can fit that clarity into the timeline based on how agriculture operates and on a particular specific market, no matter the resources that we have, we will succeed. So I am opening up this opportunity for us to understand that it's possible. Whatever you're thinking to achieve in agriculture is possible. Kenneth, you spoke about, imagine that you have 10 million, now this is what you're going to do with it. Do you know that there's a path that you can follow? Do you know that, Kenneth, you can just visit two people in Boya, and you will link up to very rich people that can sponsor your dream? It's very possible. In 2019, I mean, in Baminda, in our quarter, all the rich people in our quarter, I had their number, their telephone number. I was very intentional about it. How did I do it? By then, I was still a very small farmer. I was doing cucumber. I was doing maybe spices and some other things. You know what? Those cucumbers were premium cucumber. I will sell those cucumbers directly to those people. Go to their houses. That's how I had contact with them. And from there is history. So everything is strategy. So that's why I was saying that if you have the right investment objective, if you have the right objective, believe me, strategy will always work. Even if the strategy that you have put in place doesn't work, another one will work, because after one strategy, there's another strategy. So, hey, if you want to invest in agriculture, today we're having a case study on 10 million. That may be narrowed down to 1 million. That may be narrowed down to 100,000 francs. That may even be narrowed down to 10,000 francs. That may even be narrowed down to even 5,000 francs. There is something that you can do in agriculture. No matter the amount, there is something that you can do that will pay you huge. All you need is the right knowledge. The right knowledge. That's the highest thing that you need, the right knowledge. So I want to appreciate each and every one of us who has taken time for us to reach at this level, because it's not easy. So please, if you are getting value, let's click again value. I think we're almost running up with this case study so that we can go into question and answers. You ask me questions that you want to ask. Thank you, people. Thank you, people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So we have already used 40 minutes. I think that basically this case study is still part of our framework on how you can actually invest in agriculture, the right approach that you can follow. This thing may sound basic, but if you have been practicing agriculture, if you have been investing in agriculture, I believe these things are familiar. Maybe even if they are not familiar, if you put them into play, 3 months is big now. 3 months, we can give 90 days challenge. We can give 90 days challenge. You will see what you will produce in agriculture. You'll be amazed. Yeah, you'll be amazed. So, we are now moving into question and answers. So, if you have any question to ask me based on what we have spoken on this case study, or maybe you read the book, or maybe you went over the sessions that we did, the notes that you have, and you realize there were some things that you need to ask, go on, you can ask me. I am right here. Please, if you want to ask a question or if you want to participate, you can just put up your hand. There's a way that you can check on your chat box. You just raise up your hand, then I unmute you. We get go. Any question? Be inside within a church. Okay, Kenneth, let me unmute you. Yes, Kenneth, unmute your mic.
All right. Thank you very much. At least we have really digested a lot. And But concerning my question, it's not really related to all what you mentioned, because this is my first meeting. Yes, this is my first time attending a meeting.
Okay.
Yes, but I just want to ask. This one is like a personal question. I don't know if I can ask, or it's only within the sphere of what you have mentioned.
Uh, if it's a question that concern agriculture and investing in agriculture, no problem, you can ask. But if it is not, I think maybe you can hit me behind and we get to discuss it.
All right, it's an agricultural question.
Then bring it on.
All right, so I'm just about to venture into agriculture, really, and I really want to find out about some traditional ways that we can do to investigate a land to know which crop can be best that we can farm or we can cultivate in a particular place, or there are no there's natural ways that we can do, like we can speculate to find out about that. Is it really necessary that you must get to an agricultural engineer that can conduct some tests before you can really be able to justify that this particular crop can do well? Or let's say I have a farm, I have a land. How can I know what to cultivate in that land? What is best that I can cultivate in that land?
Yes, a very good question, Mr. Kenneth. And we will answer the question together. So it's a very important, powerful question. Now, this brings us back to what I was talking about. Why do you want to invest in agriculture? Let's have a conversation. But let's just go straight to the point, like question answer, question answer. No more explanation. Why do you want to invest? You want to venture in agriculture. Why do you want to venture into agriculture? We're having a conversation now. Just imagine that you're already talking with an engineer.
Yes, all right. Yes, the reason why I want to venture into agriculture is because lately I've discovered that agriculture has become the most nutritive occupation as of nowadays, because considering the fact that everybody from the lowest to the highest depends on agriculture. That means I can say there is nobody, whether it even is a little child, that does not eat food, and food is from agriculture. Even the president himself depends on agriculture.
Good
So
question.
if I can be able to produce something that I have a limitless market, then I'm sure that I will be able to have the guarantee that I will be able to have a guarantee of progress. Because if let's say I'm producing, for example, let's just say for example, I'm producing tires. I have a tire producing a company. Now it's not everybody that has a car, and which means the customers that I will have will only be limited to the number of people that have a car. But if I'm able to produce something that everybody needs it, then I'll be sure that that business will be successful,
Okay.
provided that I'm able also to do it well and then obtain what is quality, what is befitting, or what is okay for everybody, for every class of person to consume.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Your primary aim why you want to venture into agriculture is because food is lucrative. Everybody eats every day. Now I ask you this question. Have you realized that people eat every day and people purchase food every day in the food market, but you still see that some people who venture to agriculture keep saying that, master, I lost money this year. The farm thing no dey work. Are you aware?
Yes, of course. Of course, I am aware. That is why, though I am to venture into the agriculture, I don't just need to jump into it without first of all knowing what it takes and how I have to do it. That is why I began with my first question. I am in a land, for example. What should I cultivate? I cannot just go and be planting anything. I need to first of all know what kind of crop can do well in this land
Yeah.
before I will start making now. Okay, if I've come into a conclusion, for example, tomatoes are good in this land. Before now, I'll now go to do a budget on.
Okay.
I would have to do a budget. I also have to investigate what are the challenges that I may face in the process of this cultivation. How can I fight these challenges? How can I be able to do to produce something of quality? How can I be able to make sure that what I'm putting in should not end up frustrating me? By meeting even people who have been into the cultivation of tomatoes, for example, to find out from them what challenges have they encountered, what are the ethics that I need to put in place so that what I'm doing, it should not fail before, because those are the things that I need to be able to guide me
Yes,
so that I will not be doing things and by like I'm playing a game.
yes, Mr. Kenneth, I think you make me, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. You could see how I was actually laughing because at least it shows that what we were talking since we started, it's I was not just talking because I heard you were now giving some good points why or the approach that you will follow to make sure that you get the right you get to the right decision. Yeah, which is your choice of crop. It's very important. I believe that when you will read that book, you will understand that sometimes you don't even just need an engineer, but all you just have to do is that know what to do. And if you follow through the steps, you'll realize that instead you'll get the right knowledge. And you can only get to an engineer or to a technician asking just the information that you need instead of a technician to discourage you or say, master tomato, this will eat over worry, or this will incident over worry, or all those kind of things. So that the reason why I asked you that question was to see if you actually understood what we were actually doing along this case study where we were looking at how we can actually put 10 million into work. And your first reason was that I've seen that agriculture has uh is an evergreen fee because people eat every day. And I asked you the question, people eat every day, but you realize that Mr. Daniel spoke about post-harvest losses, food being waste, and immediately you came in with the answer or with the response that, hey, you're not just going to go into production blindly, you're also going to make sure that you follow through, you get the right information from people around you, or maybe a technician, or maybe you even go to the market, in which I always prefer go to the market first. Talk to those people who are selling tomato. If it is that your choice of crop, what you are interested in is tomato. So you see, Mr. Kenneth, this goes to each and every one of us here in the Zoom meeting. Once your objective is clear, once you know that I want to do tomato, your choice of crop, you already know the risks that it entails. You know everything that concerns tomato. You are not afraid that moment again. You already have that moment now. Any step that you are taking is calculated risks. Now you are moving into what next? This tomato that I have chosen, and now I want now to choose the site where I will work that tomato. Is if I work this tomato in Boya, am I going to work it at up around the mountain, or I'm going to work it around my 16 molecule, or am I going to work it? I'm talking about my molecule. I don't really know much about Boya, but am I going to work around my 16, or am I just going to look it around molecule my 17 that I will do it, or where am I going to do it? Now comes the question. And if you ask the right question, it will enable you to take the right action now. Where am I going to do this tomato? You will now start asking people, please, if I do it here, is this going to work? That is why when you are choosing your land, you are not only choosing your land. I'm now using you as a context since you have spoke about tomato. You're not just going to choose tomato, but you're not going to choose land that is suitable for tomato. That tomato that is going to work. Do you know that tomato needs a particular way that they package it? Do you have access on how you'll be getting those baskets when your tomato will be ready for harvesting? Can you tie tomato very well? Because it's a whole skill. If not, you're already putting into consideration that it shows that I will have to hire people to tie tomato or who are specialized in tying tomato to tie tomato based on the scale that you want to go into. Or you may ask yourself, if you are someone that you want to venture into agriculture fully, this thing is really complex. If we can take a whole day or a whole night talking on this. Maybe you want you are free, you want to dedicate all your time into it, then the kind of way that you approach it is different from the way that maybe Mr. Etame Ebe will approach it. Maybe Mr. Etame Ebe is somebody who has enough capital and also has knowledge on agriculture. He can do it in such a way that he mostly work on maybe higher labor, less time on the farm, but things are working. But you that you want to go in full in, maybe your labor is part of your capital, your presence on the farm is and your knowledge is part of your capital. You will see that the way you will approach it is different from the way another person will approach it. So with that question, I will say once you have the right objective, tomato, you have to know where you want to choose that land. Is that land suitable for tomato? Okay, if it is good, then that's already one tick. Is the land, is there water around that area since you want to do tomato because you will need water all the time, even if you are doing it in the rainy season to be able to treat your tomato? Is there water around the place? Yes, then that's a tick. Okay, that place, can a bike even go there? If a bike can go there, at least bike can transport tomatoes based on the scale that you want to do. But now, if you want to do very big, you ask yourself, can a pickup or a truck go there? If yes, then it means that everything is cheap now. It's a good place. You can choose the land site now. But if you're choosing land because it is fertile, because all the parameters, maybe the pH, the fertility of the soil, the moisture content of the soil is good, and you choose it, but the place is in one place where you cannot access it, where a bike cannot even go there. If you are putting tomato, you start hearing people that, master, this farm not so far. I don't suffer for agriculture. The tomato one more money banja. So these are some of the things that we must understand. So, Mr. Kenneth, I hope I really did answer your question very well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, any other person in the community, if you have any other question, you can bring it on board. I think we still have some few minutes to go so that we don't hang so much on this call. I think many people here have some of their things to do. It's already 9:14, so by 9:30 we should be rounding up, please. Okay. Any other person in the community or any other person with a question, bring it on.
Um, I think I have a question,
Okay,
sir.
Mr. Daniel.
So when I was going through your book, you
Mhm.
talked on time. You talked on timing and market power.
Mhm.
Where I think there was an area where you were saying that bring that product to the market 2 weeks earlier or 2 months earlier, and the price dynamics may be entirely different. So my question is, your place significant emphasis on timing as a strategy, but timing requires market power, the ability to store, produce, negotiate, or hold a inventory. Smallholders with perishable goods and non-storage often, um, how can I put it? Um, Perishable goods are not and no storage. So these things must sell. So when the market is flooded, how do investors without cold chains, processing capacity, or bargaining power execute their timing framework? So that's my question.
Yes. Oh, it's a very powerful question. Timing, horizons and time as a strategy. I remember I spoke about time as a strategy, and it was just one of the strategies that you can look into, especially if you are a vegetable farmer. Because though across agriculture, there's always a price fluctuation on agriculture. We always say it is an imperfect market situation. Even in Africa, even in the international market, the markets always fluctuate. So the only thing that can help you, it's timing. Now, with your question, you will see that really for small scale farmers, if they focus solely so much on time as their only strategy, you will see that their strategy alone is not that too powerful. Yes, because there is a tendency, as you have rightly said, where let me give you a reality of that. Let me give you a reality of that. I was already talking about us in December producing tons and tons of tomatoes. We already know that in December, that's a dry season. There is limited production of tomato. And if we go into tomato production, we're going to have higher prices. But guess what? This year, uh, last year, that transition year into December, January, we had a situation where we could not sell one basket of tomato within the last, within the first 2 weeks of January for more than 2,000 francs. You can imagine that. And that was because we focused on time as our strategy. But you know what? There were some other things that we were focusing on. Time has failed us. Maybe we did not hit the market price that we're supposed to hit. But now, at our own personal level, that's why I was focusing more on the objective. Your objective, the kind of resources that you have, the kind of site that you want to carry out that project in also matter, because it's going to help you to know if actually you are going to have a successful farming season or production calendar or production season. So for us, the time we failed at the level of time, but we succeeded at the level of resources. Why? Because we're farming well, we could do free force, we could do free irrigation. So we're not using money to buy fuel to irrigate the farms. So we were also farming where okay, Madam Beatrice, immediately after this, we will get to you. So Mr. Daniel, back to you. We were doing free first. We were working in a place where there was water availability. Then secondly, the climate, the weather, it really permitted us in which we were using less input. So at the end of the day, we were still making good profit. Yeah, we were still making good profit based on our sales. That we were selling one basket of tomato for 1,500 francs. So, but I'm telling you that we're making good profit. We're still making 500 francs per basket of tomato. So you will realize that, as you have rightly said, we did not have our backup plan, which was a cold storage facility in which we could store our tomato. Because believe me, Mr. Daniel, if we could store our tomato for just 1 month, we could make a lot of money, because by February again, tomatoes were already at 5,000 francs. Why? According to our time, our target was to hit the December, January market. So you see, another farmer was already planning the February, March market. So you see, timing is a strategy, but it's not always a full-time ally, or a full-time force for you to depend on. So you must also have to have allies, to have some other things that you will look into, so that they can help you to make sure that the decision that you're making will be the right decision. So, Mr. Daniel, I think maybe I've actually answered you well. If you have any other question, you can ask before we go to Madam Beatrice.
All right. Thank you very much for that response. And I think I also have one last question. There is one last question. So, as an agronomy student from Cortec, Bamenda, so I had some doubt, because I just finished with defending my bachelor's of science at Cotec a few months back. So I had to engage in some projects. So I was weighing the options. So I had two projects in mind. That is watermelon cultivation and beans production.
Mhm.
So given that the land was really available, resources like water and the climate, I'd already tried to monitor everything. So one of the high my limiting factor was, apart from class experience or class knowledge, where I was being limited now was on field knowledge
Mhm.
now. So it was really something very difficult to get someone. I tried to talk with some few people around me who I knew could have that knowledge, so we could maybe, if in case I should even provide with a budget for the project,
Mhm.
then we run this project together, then make sales, then I can also go into another thing or venture into another thing. But um, there were not that willingness wasn't really there. So I had to now look at the other option, as that is Binks.
Yes.
So also putting into consideration that watermelon has its own risk factor, as you rightly said, studying risks.
Yeah.
So I was very keen to that. I was looking at weighing both the risk factors and seeing which one I could deal with. So I rather went in now for being, since I wasn't good on field work with watermelon, but I have knowledge and I'd weighed the risk factor for that of beings and saw that all right is the best. So my question now is, you as a, I believe you have an advanced knowledge in the field already. So I would like to ask, like, how do you know this is the right person? Like, how do you know this is the right person you can approach? And how do you approach and how do you present these projects to the person so they might get to, you know, buy your idea? How do you sell your ideas so it might be interesting? Because at the end of the day, you talk with people, they are like, it's like you have to do it first, then you motivate others, and when they see the rewards coming out from your farm, then they will want to join you. But that's not my own case. My own case is I'm now being limited at the field level, so I want to gain more experience. So that's my question, sir.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Daniel. Wow. So interesting. Yeah. Uh, I think in what I think that was chapter. Well, when I talk about human resource, it should be chapter 6 or framework 6, like that. I talk about human resource. So you will see that human resource is a really big time thing. And most of the things that really fail is at the level of human resource. Now, direct to your question, how do I sort out somebody who is good to either join me or who can give me knowledge to achieve the kind of result that I have to achieve? There are two ways. Sometimes to get someone who is very skillful or who has experience to give you full time, it's always very costly. This is a reality, especially if that person has to do field work with you. Now, we also have another category where you're working, your target is, can I get someone, not even a mentor, a coach, or a go-to person that if I hit this person inbox at any moment, at any time, or I can even video chat, I show everything that is actually happening, and this person assists me with, especially at the level of field knowledge, since you are limited with field knowledge, Mr. Daniel. So we are going to target these two categories. Now, if you are choosing watermelon, like we are using watermelon now as a case study here. If you are choosing watermelon, your knowledge on watermelon is limited. Now you ask yourself, around Bamenda, who are the type of people that produce watermelon? It's very easy. We are starting from, like, you don't have any clue. Yes, these are the best routes that you can follow. You go to the food market in Bamenda. If you go to food market in Bamenda, you talk to those women who are trading watermelon, those trucks, they will tell you that watermelon comes from Bali. Watermelon comes from It was also coming from yes, it comes from Bafut. Then you will also hear from Bafusam, Fumbod. Majority of the watermelon in Bamenda actually comes from Fumbod. So absolutely, there is, if you cannot be going in as a primary objective to take someone who works in Fumbod, because the climate in Fumbod is different from the one in Bamenda. Those are two things. So now you also be focusing on, can I get to know those people who work in who are producing in Bamenda? Like you don't have, we're considering that you don't have any phone, you don't have any access that you can do even any research online. So those are some of the criteria tips that you can use. Now, how you approach them, it really matters. You have to understand that some farmers, most people, they like to hide knowledge, especially things that work. They love to hide it. So you must have to develop a strategy on how to squeeze that knowledge from them. Sometimes it may need that you do field visit. Sometimes it may need that you sacrifice, maybe like you volunteer just to get the knowledge. This one is different from what you were talking about. Like you want someone who can give you that hands-on while you are doing your own. And then now we have this other part in which now you get someone who is willing to share that knowledge with you. That person will willingly stand as a coach to give you every step, everything that you need, every follow-up that you need. Believe me, you will succeed. Oh, you will succeed. Then now, your question again, how do I get to that person? How do I know that this person is good? This one now is like you are trying to do online research. The only way that you can do it, online research can really help you a little bit. Like you try to look at people, type watermelon on Facebook, but I believe one of the best platform that you can really check up, do online research on is Facebook. Yeah, you type Facebook watermelon Bamenda. From there you will see the kind of people who are cultivating watermelon. You can reach out to them. You are so fortunate that you mentioned watermelon. I've cultivated watermelon in Bamenda, not twice. So I've cultivated watermelon in Bamenda. I have experience with watermelon. I've produced results on watermelon. And I can tell you that the highest thing that you just need to do is locate the person. Based on how the person approach or the person responses, you can walk along. So it just remain now on you. If you see that you are still lacking on persuasion, how to persuade people to buy into your idea, I think that these are some of the things that you have to do now. Soft knowledge, soft education. You educate yourself on how you can learn how to persuade people who are ahead of you, so that they can give you knowledge that you can apply on the field. I remember teaching somebody in Nigeria. That person made 1 million only on cucumber farming. I was in Cameroon, but I did full-time coaching, field survey, and that person made a lot of money. That was when I was still doing when I was still much into fruit cultivation, watermelon, cucumbers, and I will tell you, Mr. Daniel, this is the approach that you can follow. These two approaches, if you follow them, they'll be good for you. But if you want to research, like go to YouTube, check out on videos on watermelon, they'll be good, but you still need that kind of first class, that kind of first hand, one-to-one follow up, either virtual or physical. I hope I did make some sense.
Yes, sir, it did make a lot of sense. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.